Oh yeah, there's some good ones here. That one looks like it's seeding.
Permission to fire.
Okay.
Application complete.
I think the major benefit with using biocontrol is cost. Once these biocontrol agents are released out in the environment, you let them do all the work for you. So it's the cost at the beginning, but the maintaining of it becomes a no cost after that.
Biological control, or the use of natural enemies, is basically reuniting an invasive species with the enemies that help keep it in check in the native range. It's so invasive on many other islands. We can see that the same thing was about to happen in Rarotonga, and we wanted to introduce biocontrol agents before it became dominant.
The problem with the African tulip is it's competing with native plants that's growing on the hills. It also impacts in the forest area here on Rarotonga.
The seeds spread very easily, and you can find the trees everywhere in the mountain region. They outnumber easily native trees.
But once it does establish, it can also spread through root suckers. And so that enables it to colonize forested areas.
This is probably one of the original trees where we released it. What we did is we were using the young growth and were covering with a netting to sort of have a sleeve over the branch. And we did that and released them the following day. We removed the sleeves, and about a week later we came to the same site and they were still in the same area hanging around, which indicated that the chosen releasing site was actually very good. So they stayed together, and the chance that they're going to multiply was pretty high. So they seem to be very happy in this climate.
There's a large number of invasive species, probably about 300 exotic species that have naturalized on Rarotonga, which is slightly more than the number of native plant species. But about 40 of those are considered to be serious invaders.
But a few people don't see because it's out of sight, out of mind. It's up in the mountains and they don't really see the impact it does to our environment.
Yes, I mean, many of the invasive species affect ecosystem services, and perhaps the most important one in Rarotonga is the water supply. And that's because the entire water supply of Rarotonga is from a handful of streams. Native trees in the forested areas are what's holding the soil together. They have very dense interlocking roots. And if those trees get smothered by vines, the fear is that they'll die. Then those roots are going to start rotting away. And that's going to result in instability of the soil. And that'll have major implications for how much water can be retained within the forested catchments. With Minute, a rust fungus was found in South America that introduced to the Cook Islands, and that basically causes all sorts of pustules on the leaves of the plant and reduces its ability to photosynthesize, and so it no longer grows as quickly and is no longer capable of outcompeting native species or crops.
Whether the bioagents actually do what we expect them to do means controlling the weeds in the long term, the African tulip trees. This is something maybe our grandchildren will notice compared to reports from years ago. The population or the density of the African tulip queens have declined.
People tend not to think long term, But I think biological control probably is the only long-term solution for many of these invasive weeds.